Alright everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot, and as you can see by the title, we are starting out today with Thundershot's top 5 shows you should be watching. Now, this isn't top 5 best shows of all time, or top 5 shows currently most popular ever. This is just my personal top 5 shows that I'm watching right now. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I mean, you know, every now and again I do have Netflix, I do have Hulu Plus, and although I haven't delved into Hulu Plus very much, I do watch Netflix on occasion, and when I don't always watch Netflix, but when I do, I watch these 5 shows I'm about to give you. So as a guy, I think you could take this as a guy who doesn't watch a lot of TV. I don't have cable or anything, but a guy who doesn't watch a lot of TV, for me to go out of my way to make sure I catch these ones anyway, I think that kind of says something. And I figured, hey, you guys kind of, I get that asked on my ask.fm a lot, which will be in the description down below if you check that out. But Thundershot, what shows do you watch and stuff like that. So I figured I'd make a top 5 list. Anyways, these are 5 shows you may not have heard of. They're not the most popular shows in the world. They can all be found on Netflix. Most of them can be aired on TV as well, so you'll be able to find them there. But anyways, let's just get down into this. So number 5. Also, all these shows are currently being aired. They're not canceled. They're not over. It's not like Breaking Bad where it ended a few seasons ago. They're happening right now. They're still coming out with seasons, all that stuff. Anyways, let's get into the list. Starting at number 5, we have Longmire. If you've never heard of Longmire, well, I always associate it with the old Western movies, even though it's really different. You have an old sheriff, Walt Longmire, who comes over to Wyoming, and he becomes their new sheriff. And I mean, you know, I get the John Wayne feel from it all the time because he just always finds a way to get the bad guy and do that thing. But I always think if you like old westerns, you're gonna like Longmire. Now, it isn't an old western. It doesn't take place in old western. It takes place in modern times, but they're in Wyoming, and in like a desert in Wyoming, so it feels like the old western because they're so, I mean, you know, old school back there, I guess. But yeah, Walt always finds a way to get his man. They live right next to an Indian reservation, and a lot of people on the Indian reservation don't care for Walt, and that's part of the story. You slowly find out why they don't care for him. Walt has a past he doesn't talk about that slowly unravels while he's catching all these criminals and bad guys committing murders and selling drugs and all this stuff in his county because he's Walt Longmire. Thank you, m'lady. But yeah, check out Walt Longmire. No, not Walt. It's called Longmire. Like I said, it's on Netflix. They have 2 seasons up on Netflix. I believe they just finished filming season 3 on TV, but I'm about a season in myself. And that's actually the newest show I've taken to, and I like it so far. I mean, you know, I have no reason not to like it, and it gets the job done. Anyways, moving on to number 4. If you're a fan of Family Guy, The Simpsons, American Dad, anything like that, you're gonna like this next one. It's called Bob's Burgers. I think a lot of people have probably heard of Bob's Burgers, but I don't think everybody's out there watching it. And they do have, I don't even know how many seasons they have on Netflix now, but I've seen all of them that they have on Netflix. Going through the whole list, it's funny. If you like The Simpsons, it's made by the same people who make The Simpsons. I don't know, the show's got a lot of good characters to it. It's Bob, and they're constantly struggling to come up with payments, so they do some fun stuff for money. But what gets me is the 3 children and all their characters that they have in the show are probably the best. They have Gene, Luis, and Tina. And Tina is the older, I think she's like 12 or 13-year-old girl. She's super awkward. Luis is the youngest, but she's like a deranged psychopath, but completely functions okay in society. But she's, I don't know, she's my favorite character on the show. And then you have Gene, who is the fat, funny, comic relief, kind of stupid a little bit sometimes guy who likes food. I don't know, it's funny, but you got to check it out. Just watch the first 2 episodes. If it doesn't catch you by then, it probably won't, but I say give Bob's Burgers at least 2 shots. I mean, you know, give it the first 2 episodes. If you don't like it by then, you can quit, but I would try it out. Anyways, moving on to number 3, we're getting into some more serious stuff now. Arrow. I just, not too long ago, finished season 1 of Arrow on Netflix. They have season 1 of Arrow on Netflix. Season 2 should be out very shortly, and they're filming season 3 right now, so it'll be on the air soon. But I love Arrow to death. Superhero show based off of Green Arrow. You find out a lot about his past, how he got there. Even as a guy who never read the comics, I like it a lot. And considering I don't even like DC comics, and that's what the Green Arrow is, he's DC. I don't know, I thoroughly enjoy this. They're already doing a spin-off of the show where they introduce the character Flash, the DC superhero Flash, into the whole thing. And it's going to be amazing. But yeah, Arrow, Oliver Queen, super rich dude, stranded on an island for 5 years. They find him, he's learned all these super badass techniques, and he secretly becomes the vigilante of the city, where he goes around and he fights crimes and kicks ass as the Green Arrow. And he's dating, well, he's kind of on and off with this girl a bunch, and her dad's the sheriff of the town. No, he's a detective. He's the main detective of the town. And they're always trying to catch the vigilante Arrow, and Oliver's right under their nose the whole time. It's a good show. It's a really good show. And he does some cool shit with a bow and arrow, so check that out. He's kind of like a Batman, in a way, because he doesn't have any actual superpowers, but he's so just badass as a person, he can totally manage it. I mean, you know, like he pretty much beats everyone he fights with and all that stuff, and then of course he's got all the money and the yeah, he's pretty sweet. Anyways, moving on to show number 2, Supernatural. There are 8 seasons of Supernatural on Netflix right now. I've seen all of them. I've seen every episode of Supernatural, all 8 seasons. Pretty much. I may have missed 1 or 2 here or there in the first couple. But 8 seasons of Supernatural. 9 is out. 9 has already been aired completely. And they're filming for 10 right now. So 10's going to be out. Supernatural is an amazing, amazing show. There's a reason it's gone on for this many seasons. It's about, well, Supernatural. These 2 brothers, Sam and Dean Winchester, go on. They basically hunt ghosts and try to save the Earth. Now, when it starts out in season 1, they're just hunting ghosts. They're going from mission to mission, trying to find their dad who's lost and stuff like that. As it goes on, it gets bigger and bigger every season. Eventually, you get introduced. There's demons that work directly for the devil, and then all of a sudden, angels show up, and then they try to find God, and then they have to deal with Satan because Satan's out running amok again. And the 4 horsemen. It gets bigger and bigger every season. So if you can make it, I know it's kind of weird to ask you to watch an entire first season of a show, but if you watch the first few episodes, if you watch the first 3 or 4 episodes of Supernatural and you like it and you keep watching, I can tell you for sure, and not many shows do this, but I can tell you for sure, every single season of Supernatural gets better than the last one. And it's weird, and it's gone on 10 whole seasons. I've only seen up to season 8. I haven't got to see 9 or 10 yet, although I would love to. Very soon, as we're hoping season 9 shows up on Netflix soon, but we're not sure about that. Anyways, yeah, it gets better every single season. So if you watch the first 2 or 3 episodes of Supernatural and you enjoy it, you're going to love the entire rest of it. Because I can tell you up to season 8, every single season is better than the last one, which gets hard to do after season 3 and 4, because it's already a really good show by then. But alright, not in our number 1 slot, but in our honorable mention slot, since this is a list of shows that are currently active and they're currently releasing. I couldn't put this one on here, but it did make an honorable mention slot. Lie to Me. Lie to Me is a show, oh god, I forget the main character's name. It's Tim McRaw or something like that. But anyways, he plays Cal Lightman. That's the main character because it's the Lightman group. He plays Cal Lightman, and he is an expert in being able to tell if people are lying or not. Basically, certain people have a twitch or a tick with their eyes, or their lip might move funny, or they'll react a certain way, their body language will say something specifically. He can tell if they're lying or not, and then he does his best to get to the bottom of the case. He solves murders, he solves crimes, he helps friends out with stuff. He gets his own FBI agent to help him out with all this stuff. He has his own Cal Lightman group. People come to him to find out if their spouses are cheating, and it always ends up being way more complicated than that and stuff like that. It's a really, really amazing show. It's got 3 seasons up on Netflix, and then it got canceled for some reason. I have no idea why it got canceled. It was such a good show. It was my favorite show for a long time. And then it made it to season 3 and got canceled for really no reason at all. You watch 1 episode of Lie to Me, you'll probably be hooked. Maybe give it a second one if not by then. But Lie to Me is a fantastic show, and I probably would have put it at the number 2 spot if it was still running. But it's not, so that's why I got the honorable mention. And last but not least, number 1 slot. This one is not on TV. This is only on Netflix. By the way, all these shows I have that are on Netflix, like I said, I'm not sponsored by Netflix. It's just I only have Netflix and Hulu Plus. I don't have actual TV in my apartment. But if you want to watch any of these shows but you don't have Netflix, if you have a gaming system or a computer or a laptop, basically whatever you're watching this on, unless it's a cell phone, and you might even be able to get it for your cell phone anymore. I don't know. But basically whatever you're watching this on right now, unless it's a cell phone, I mean a tablet, computer, laptop, gaming systems, ever since the Wii, I mean, PS3, PS4, Xbox, Xbox 360, whatever, you can get Netflix downloaded and you can get a free month of Netflix. That's just it. You just free month of Netflix. You can look up the promotions and stuff like that. It's easy to find. You get a free month of Netflix. 3 month of Netflix. You can try this stuff out to see if it's your cup of tea or not. But I've got you. Already got you 6 shows here that are going to keep your attention for way longer than a month, but are totally worth the purchase on Netflix because you can marathon them. You don't have to wait for a TV marathon to show up or anything. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by Netflix. This is just, it's worth the $8 a month. But anyways. Number 1 show, end all be all, House of Cards. There's currently 2 seasons of House of Cards on Netflix. We're fully expecting season 3 to show up in February, but the first 2 seasons are amazing, my god. Now, a lot of people, if you've heard of House of Cards, or if you haven't, a lot of people see it, and it's Kevin Spacey, but he's playing the role of a congressman who's trying to become president of the United States, hopefully one day. And they see it and I'm like, oh, it's a political thriller. Well, I don't like politics. I'm not into politics. I'm not going to watch House of Cards. That is not at all how you need to take that on. I have friends and family members who I have watched House of Cards give no shits about actual politics, and they love the show to death. The show is about a congressman, but rarely is an actual political issue ever the focus. It's about the drama. It's about the behind the scenes. You ever want to kind of get an insight, and I can't guarantee you this is what it's actually like, but if you ever want to kind of get an insight on the corruption and everything like that behind politics, the actual a look into the actual people's lives when they're not in front of the camera, or I mean, you know, writing bills or anything like that. It is an amazing show. Kevin Spacey does an amazing job. All the actors and actresses on that show pull everything off very well. That's why it's number one on the list. House of Cards. Check it out 100%. And if you don't like any of the other shows, if you haven't heard of any of the other shows, you don't want to check any of the other shows out that I've said today, get your free month of Netflix. And I keep buffing them, but they're not sponsoring me. Get your free month of Netflix and just watch House of Cards. There's 2 seasons up. You watch one of them every night before you go to bed, maybe. You'll have it done with time to spare. You'll have both seasons done, but it is so worth it. And then, like I said, hopefully we're getting season 3 this February. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this list. I want to thank all you guys for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Check out some of the TV shows I mentioned. Just one final rundown. We have Longmire, Bob's Burgers, Arrow, Supernatural, Lie to Me is the honorable mention, and House of Cards is a must-see. It's a Netflix original. It's only on Netflix, but for the love of God, if you haven't done Netflix yet, do the free month and check it out. But that's going to do it for me. I'm Thundershot, and I'm out. Peace, guys.